The pregnancy test clattered against the bathroom sink as Serafina Moonstone's hands trembled. 2 pink lines. Positive. She pressed her back against the cold tile wall of the servants' quarters, her heart hammering so loudly she was certain someone would hear it through the thin walls of Sterling Manor. "No, no, no," she whispered, sliding down to sit on the floor. But even as panic seized her chest, a tiny flutter of something else emerged. Hope, maybe even joy. She thought of Alexander's hands in her hair just 3 nights ago, his whispered promises in the darkness of the guest house. "You're different, Sarah. You make me feel alive." Could this be their chance? Could this baby be the thing that finally made their secret relationship real? Sarah clutched the test to her chest and allowed herself to imagine it. Telling him, watching his face light up. Maybe he'd finally stand up to his family, tell them he loved a housemaid, that status didn't matter. She was such a fool. The clock on the wall read 11 p.m. The Sterling family had left hours ago for their annual charity gala at the Metropolitan Museum. Alexander had looked so handsome in his tuxedo, and when he'd passed her in the hallway, he'd brushed his fingers against hers. That small touch had made her entire body sing. Now, she had to tell him the truth that would change everything. Sarah changed out of her uniform into a simple blue dress, the nicest thing she owned. She'd bought it from a thrift store, but it made her feel pretty. She braided her long dark hair over one shoulder and walked through the silent mansion, her footsteps echoing on the marble floors she'd scrubbed 1,000 times. Alexander's study door was ajar, golden light spilling into the hallway. She could see him inside, tie loosened, staring at something on his desk. Her heart swelled. This was the man she loved. The man who'd noticed her singing while dusting the library 4 months ago. Who'd started leaving her little notes tucked between books. Who'd kissed her under the stars and made her believe in fairy tales again. She knocked softly. "Alex!" He looked up, and for a moment, his face softened with that smile she loved. Then something shifted in his expression. Wariness. "Sarah? What are you doing here? I thought you'd be asleep. I need to talk to you. It's important." She stepped inside, closing the door behind her. Alexander stood, running a hand through his dark hair. "Sarah, listen, I've been meaning to talk to you too. Things are getting complicated and I'm pregnant." The words hung in the air like smoke. Sarah watched his face cycle through emotions. Shock, confusion, panic, and then something that made her blood run cold. Calculation. "You're... what?" His voice was barely a whisper. "I'm pregnant, Alex. About 6 weeks, I think. I know this is unexpected, but maybe it's a sign. Maybe this is our chance to..." "Our chance." Alexander laughed, but it was a bitter, hollow sound. "Sarah, what exactly did you think this was?" Her stomach dropped. "What do you mean? We've been together for 4 months. You said you loved me." "I said a lot of things." He moved to the window, his back to her. "Things got carried away. You're beautiful and sweet, and I enjoyed our time together. But Sarah, you had to know this couldn't be serious." "Why not?" Her voice cracked. "Because I'm a maid? Because my engagement to Victoria Ashworth is being announced next week." He turned to face her, and his expression was that of a stranger. "It's been arranged for years. Our families, our businesses. It's all been planned since we were children." Sarah felt like the floor had disappeared beneath her feet. "Engagement? You're getting married. It's business, Sarah. Surely you understand that. The Sterling and Ashworth merger will create the largest luxury conglomerate in North America. This isn't about love. It's about legacy." "But you told me..." Tears streamed down her face now. "You said I was different, that I made you feel alive. Was all of that a lie?" Alexander's jaw tightened. "It wasn't a lie. You did make me feel something. But that doesn't change reality. I have responsibilities, expectations. And I'm just what? A distraction? A dirty little secret. Don't be dramatic." His tone had gone cold now, businesslike. "Look, I'll take care of this. I'll make sure you're compensated fairly." Sarah's hand instinctively moved to her stomach. Compensated. Alexander walked to his desk and pulled out a leather checkbook. The scratch of his pen against paper felt like nails on a chalkboard. He tore out the check and held it out to her. $750,000. That should more than cover the procedure and any time off you need. I'll also have my lawyer draw up an NDA. Sign it, and I'll add another $250,000 for you to relocate. Start fresh somewhere new. Sarah stared at the check in his hand, unable to process what was happening. You want me to kill our baby. I want you to be practical. His voice was gentle now, like he was explaining something to a child. Sarah, think about this logically. You're 21 years old. You make $30,000 a year. How are you going to raise a child? I'm offering you $1 million. That's life-changing money for someone like you. Someone like me. The words tasted like poison. You mean someone beneath you? I didn't say that. You didn't have to. Sarah's hands balled into fists at her sides. I thought you were different, Alex. I thought you saw past all the money and status. I thought you saw me. I do see you. That's why I'm trying to help you. Take the money, Sarah. Get the abortion. Move to California or Paris or wherever you've dreamed of going. Live your life. Live my life. She laughed through her tears. You mean live with the guilt of killing our child, so you can marry some socialite and play happy family? Alexander's expression hardened. You're being emotional. Sleep on it. Tomorrow, you'll see I'm offering you the best option for everyone involved. The best option for you, you mean? For both of us. Do you really want to raise a child in poverty? To struggle every single day? To have our child be a bastard? Knowing their father didn't want them. The cruelty of his words hit her like a physical blow. Sarah stepped forward and slapped him across the face. The sound cracked through the study like a gunshot. Alexander's head snapped to the side, his cheek reddening. For a moment, they just stared at each other. Then Sarah heard the worst sound imaginable. Slow, deliberate clapping. Evelyn Sterling emerged from the shadows near the bookshelf, her diamond necklace glittering in the lamplight. Alexander's mother had been there the whole time, listening to every word. Well, Evelyn said, her voice dripping with venom. The help has gotten herself into trouble. How predictable. Mother, Alexander started, but Evelyn held up a perfectly manicured hand. Don't speak. You've said quite enough. She turned her cold blue eyes on Sarah. You gold-digging little tramp. Did you think you could trap my son with a pregnancy? That we'd welcome you into this family with open arms. I didn't trap anyone, Sarah said, her voice shaking but defiant. I loved him. I thought he loved me. Love. Evelyn laughed, the sound like ice cracking. Love is for people who can afford it. You're a maid, girl. A nobody from nowhere. My son was slumming, nothing more. Boys will be boys after all. Mother, that's enough, Alexander said, but his voice lacked conviction. No, it's not nearly enough. Evelyn circled Sarah like a predator. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to take my son's generous offer. You're going to sign the NDA, and you're going to disappear. If you don't, I will make your life a living hell. I will ensure you never work in this city again. I'll dig into your background, find every skeleton in your family's closet, and I will destroy them. Your mother, your sister, everyone you love will suffer because of your stupidity. Sarah's blood ran cold. You can't. I can and I will. I have more money and power than you can possibly imagine. I've buried bigger scandals than one pregnant maid. You're nothing to me. Less than nothing. Tears blurred Sarah's vision, but she forced herself to stand tall. Keep your blood money. I don't want anything from either of you. Then you're an even bigger fool than I thought, Evelyn hissed. You'll raise that bastard in poverty while watching my son marry Victoria Ashworth in a $20 million wedding. You'll scrub toilets and serve people like us for the rest of your miserable life. Is that really the future you want? It's better than being like you, Sarah said quietly. I'd rather have nothing than sell my soul. She turned to Alexander one last time. He wouldn't meet her eyes. The man she'd loved had disappeared, replaced by a coward who let his mother fight his battles. I hope she's worth it, Sarah whispered. I hope your business merger, and your perfect society wedding make you happy. Because one day, you're going to wake up and realize you threw away the only real thing you ever had. Security. Evelyn's voice rang out. Ms. Moonstone is being terminated, effective immediately. Please escort her to her quarters to collect her belongings, then remove her from the property. 2 security guards appeared in the doorway. Sarah recognized them. Marcus and James, men she'd chatted with during her breaks, who'd always been kind to her. Now they looked uncomfortable, unable to meet her eyes. I'm sorry, Sarah, Marcus said softly. We have our orders. She walked between them with her head high, refusing to give Evelyn the satisfaction of seeing her crumble. But as they passed through the grand foyer, past the chandelier she'd cleaned just yesterday, past the marble staircase where Alexander had once caught her and kissed her breathless, something inside her shattered. In her tiny room in the servants' quarters, Sarah packed her few belongings into a duffel bag. Her uniforms hung in the closet. She left them there. She'd never wear them again. The only thing she took from Alexander was a small sketch he'd drawn of her one lazy Sunday afternoon. She'd kept it hidden under her pillow like a treasure. Now she looked at it and saw what it really was. A lie. She tore it into pieces and left them scattered on the bed. 3 months later, Sarah's feet ached as she carried a tray of plates through the crowded diner. The smell of grease and coffee had become as familiar as breathing. Rosie's 24-hour diner wasn't glamorous, but it was honest work, and after everything, Sarah craved honesty. Order up for table 6. Danny called from the kitchen. Sarah grabbed the plates and delivered them with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. Her uniform was too tight now, her small baby bump was beginning to show. She'd have to buy new clothes soon, and the thought of the expense made her stomach churn. Sarah, honey, sit down before you fall down, Rosa said, appearing at her elbow. Rosa was the only other waitress on the night shift, a Puerto Rican woman in her 50s who'd taken Sarah under her wing. You've been on your feet for 6 hours. I'm fine, Sarah lied. You're pregnant and exhausted. Take your break. Sarah sank into a booth with relief. Rosa slid a plate of fries and a milkshake across the table. On the house. You need to eat. Rosa, I can't keep accepting free food. Then consider it an investment. I got a feeling about you, Mija. Rosa's dark eyes were knowing. You're not going to be slinging hash forever. Sarah laughed bitterly. I can barely afford rent on a studio apartment. I'm one emergency away from being homeless. Where exactly am I going? Up. Rosa tapped the sketchbook that Sarah always carried. I've seen your drawings. You got talent. Talent doesn't pay bills. Not yet, but I've been thinking. Rosa leaned forward conspiratorially. My cousin Luis owns a bodega in Queens. He's been wanting a new logo, something fresh. I showed him one of your sketches, the one you drew on your napkin last week. He wants to hire you. Sarah blinked. What? Rosa, I can't. He'll pay you $300. It ain't much, but it's a start. Rosa squeezed her hand. Baby, you got 2 choices. You can stay down or you can get up swinging. What's it gonna be? Tears pricked Sarah's eyes. Why are you being so nice to me? Because 20 years ago I was you. Pregnant, broke, and scared. Someone gave me a chance and I never forgot it. Now I'm paying it forward. That night, Sarah sat in her tiny apartment with her sketchbook. The pipes clanged, and she could hear her neighbors arguing through the paper-thin walls. She placed her hand on her belly, feeling the small flutter of movement. Okay, little one, she whispered. Let's build something beautiful. She designed Luis's logo, pouring every ounce of creativity and desperation into it. When she showed it to him, his face lit up. He paid her $300 in cash, and he told his sister, who owned a salon. She told her friend, who ran a food truck. One client became 2, then 5, then 10. Sarah worked the diner at night and designed during the day, sleeping in short bursts, fueled by pregnancy cravings and sheer determination. Her daughter, she knew it was a girl somehow, kicked stronger every day, as if cheering her on. The night Luna was born, Rosa held Sarah's hand in the hospital. There was no one else. Sarah's mother had passed when she was 16, and she had no other family. But as she held her daughter for the first time, looking into those gray-blue eyes that were so heartbreakingly like Alexander's, Sarah made a vow. "I will give you everything," she whispered. "Not money or status or any of the things they thought mattered. I'll give you love and strength and the knowledge that you are worth more than anyone's opinion. We're going to build an empire, baby girl. Just you and me." 5 years passed in a blur of late nights and small victories. Sarah's client list grew. She started a website. A viral Instagram post led to her first corporate client. Then another, and another. She moved from the studio to a one-bedroom, then to a townhouse. She hired an assistant, then a team. And one day, Serafina Moonstone received an email that made her smile with cold satisfaction. Sterling Industries wanted to hire Moonstone Atelier for a complete corporate rebrand. They'd heard she was the best in the business. They had no idea who she was. Sarah sat in her penthouse office, Luna coloring at a small desk in the corner. Her daughter was 4 now, brilliant and curious, with dark curls and those devastating gray eyes. She wore a little denim dress and light-up sneakers, completely unaware that she was a Sterling heir. "Mama, can we get ice cream after your meeting?" Luna asked without looking up from her drawing. "Maybe, baby. This is a big meeting." "You always win your meetings," Luna said matter-of-factly. "You're the bestest." Sarah's heart swelled. "Thank you, my little moon. I love you more than anything." "More than chocolate?" "More than all the chocolate in the world." The next day, Sarah walked into the Sterling Industries building for the first time in 5 years. Nothing had changed, same marble floors, same oppressive grandeur. But everything had changed. She was wearing a custom Armani suit. Her hair was styled in an elegant updo. Diamond studs glittered in her ears. She looked like she belonged because now she did. The receptionist led her to the executive boardroom. Sarah's heels clicked confidently on the floor as she entered. And there they were. Alexander sat at the head of the table, older, tired-looking. His mother, Evelyn, was beside him, her face pulled tight from too much plastic surgery. Neither of them looked up as Sarah entered. "Good afternoon," Sarah said, her voice clear and professional. "I'm S. Moonstone, founder and creative director of Moonstone Atelier. Thank you for considering our services." Alexander's head snapped up so fast Sarah heard his neck crack. The color drained from his face. "Sarah?" Evelyn's eyes went wide. "You?" "It's Ms. Moonstone," Sarah corrected coolly. She set her portfolio on the table and opened it. "I understand Sterling Industries is looking for a rebrand. Your current image is, and I'm quoting your own internal survey here, stale, out of touch, and reminiscent of old money imperialism. My team has prepared some preliminary concepts." "Sarah, we need to talk," Alexander started, half rising from his chair. "This is a business meeting, Mr. Sterling. If you'd prefer to reschedule." "No." Evelyn's voice was sharp. "We'll proceed. Ms. Moonstone, while your reputation precedes you, I'm not sure you're the right fit for our company culture." "Really?" Sarah smiled. "Because your stock has dropped 18% in the last quarter. Your competitors are eating your market share. And your brand perception among millennials and Gen Z is, frankly, abysmal. But if you'd prefer to hire someone who'll tell you what you want to hear rather than what you need to hear, I'm happy to recommend several firms who specialize in mediocrity." A younger executive, someone Sarah didn't recognize, coughed to cover a laugh. Sarah launched into her presentation. It was brilliant, cutting, and undeniable. She'd done her homework, identified every weakness in their brand, and crafted solutions that were both innovative and commercially viable. By the end, even Evelyn looked grudgingly impressed. "My fee for this project is $5 million, Sarah said. "Payment plan options are available, though I prefer a 50% deposit upfront. My assistant will send over the contract. Any questions?" "I have one," Alexander said quietly. His eyes were fixed on something in her portfolio, a small photo of Luna that Sarah had forgotten to remove. "That little girl. She's none of your concern." Sarah closed her portfolio. If there's nothing else, gentlemen, I have another meeting. She was almost to the door when Alexander's voice stopped her. Sarah, please, can we talk? Just 5 minutes. Privately. Every instinct screamed at her to refuse, but she saw something in his face. Genuine pain, maybe even remorse, and despite everything, part of her heart still remembered loving him. 5 minutes, she said. My office. Tomorrow at 3. And Mr. Sterling? You'll be billed for that time. My consulting rate is $500 an hour. She walked out, head high, leaving them stunned in her wake. If you're enjoying this story of revenge and redemption, please hit that subscribe button and drop a comment telling me what you think Sarah should do next. Your support means everything. That evening, Sarah picked up Luna from her private art class. Her daughter came running out with a painting of flowers, her face glowing with pride. Look, Mama, Miss Jennifer said I'm a natural artist. It's beautiful, baby. Sarah knelt and hugged her tight. Just like you. As they walked to the car, Luna asked the question that always broke Sarah's heart a little. Mama, why don't I have a daddy? Sarah buckled her into her car seat and brushed a curl from her forehead. Because we don't need anyone but each other. We're a team, remember? The best team in the world. But Emily at school has a daddy, and Madison has 2 daddies. Don't I get one? Some families are big and some families are small. But what matters is love. And I love you enough for 10 daddies. Luna seemed satisfied with this answer, but Sarah's heart ached. She tried to protect her daughter from the truth. But how long before Luna started asking harder questions? How long before she had to explain that her father had offered money to erase her existence? The next day, Alexander arrived at Moonstone Atelier exactly at 3 p.m. Sarah's assistant, Mia, showed him to the waiting area. Sarah made him wait 20 minutes, partly out of spite, partly to compose herself. When she finally called him in, Alexander looked around her office with something like awe. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked the city. Award plaques covered one wall. Luna's artwork decorated another. Small bursts of color and joy amidst the professional space. You did all this? Alexander said softly. You built this. Did you expect me to disappear? Sarah sat behind her desk, creating a barrier between them. To fade away quietly like your mother wanted? No, I don't know. I try not to think about it. He ran a hand through his hair, that same gesture she remembered. That's a lie. I think about it every day. I think about you, what I did to you, what you did to us. She's mine, isn't she? That little girl in the photo. Luna. She has my eyes. Sarah's hands tightened on her desk. She has her own eyes, her own life. You gave up any right to her 5 years ago when you called her a problem to be solved. I was a coward. Alexander's voice cracked. I was terrified of my mother, of disappointing my family, of losing everything I thought mattered. And I lost the only thing that actually did matter. Pretty words. 5 years too late. Sarah, please. I know I don't deserve your forgiveness. But can I meet her? Just once? I need to know my daughter. You don't have a daughter. Sarah stood, her voice ice. I have a daughter. I carried her. I gave birth to her alone. I fed her at 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. I scraped together money for diapers and formula while building a business. I held her when she was sick and sang to her when she had nightmares. I taught her to walk and talk and be kind. You did nothing but offer money to make sure she never existed. You're right. You're absolutely right. But Sarah, I've changed. Have you? She laughed bitterly. Or did your arranged marriage just not work out? Let me guess. Victoria left you. Your father died. The perfect life you chose over us fell apart. And now you're lonely and looking for meaning. Am I close? Alexander flinched. It's not like that. Then what is it like? It's exactly like that, he admitted quietly. Victoria did leave me. 2 years into our marriage. She fell in love with someone who actually loved her back. My father had a heart attack last year. And my mother, she's gotten worse. More controlling, more bitter. The company's struggling. Everything's falling apart. And every night, I lie awake and think about that moment in my study. The moment I chose money over you, over our child. And I hate myself for it. Good, Sarah said coldly. You should. I do. I hate myself more than you could possibly know. Sarah, I'm not asking for forgiveness. I know that's impossible. But please let me make this right. Let me be a father to Luna. Let me support you both. I'll give you anything. I don't need your money. She opened her laptop and showed him her company's financials. Moonstone Atelier is worth $8 million. I just signed a deal with a European conglomerate that will double that. I drive a Tesla. Luna goes to the best private school in the city. We have everything we need. Then what do you want? For you to leave us alone. But even as she said it, Sarah thought of Luna's question about daddies. Thought of the emptiness in her daughter's voice. Actually, no. I want you to understand what you took from us. What you threw away. She pulled out her phone and showed him photos. Luna as a newborn, tiny and wrinkled. Luna taking her first steps. Her first day of preschool. Her 4th birthday party. Blowing out candles with pure joy on her face. This is what you missed, Sarah said, her voice breaking. This is what you chose money over. Your daughter is brilliant and funny and kind. She loves art and stories and anything purple. She's afraid of thunderstorms but brave about everything else. And she asks me why she doesn't have a daddy, and I have to tell her it's because her father didn't want her. Tears ran down Alexander's face. I want her now. I want both of you. Please, Sarah. Please give me a chance to prove I've changed. The door burst open. Evelyn Sterling stood there, her face twisted with rage. Mia stood behind her, apologetic. I'm sorry, Ms. Moonstone. She pushed past me. You little witch, Evelyn snarled at Sarah. You kept my grandchild from me? You had no right. I had every right. Sarah's voice was dangerously calm. You called my daughter a bastard before she was even born. You threatened to destroy my family. You kicked me out of your house like trash. What right do you have to anything? She's a Sterling. That gives me every right. Alexander, we're filing for custody. This gold digger can't be allowed to poison our air against us. Mother, stop, Alexander said. But Evelyn ignored him. I'll bury you in court. I'll prove you're an unfit mother. I'll take that child and raise her properly, the way a Sterling should be raised. Sarah smiled, and it was terrifying. Try it. Please, I'm begging you, try it. Because the moment you file, I'll release the recording I have of you and your son offering me money to abort my pregnancy. I'll give interviews about how you called an unborn child a bastard. I'll make sure every newspaper, every website, every social media platform knows exactly what kind of people you are. The Sterling name will be synonymous with cruelty and classism. Your stock will tank. Your clients will leave. I will destroy everything you've spent your life building. You wouldn't dare. Try me. Sarah pressed a button on her phone. Alexander's voice filled the office, tinny but clear. I'll give you $750,000. That should more than cover the procedure and any time off you need. Then Evelyn's voice, dripping with venom. You gold-digging little tramp. The recording continued for 2 minutes. Every cruel word, every threat, all of it documented. Evelyn's face went white. You've been recording this whole meeting too, Sarah said pleasantly. Everything you just said about taking my daughter, about destroying me, is all evidence. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to walk out of my office. You're never going to contact me or my daughter again. And if I even hear a whisper that you're coming after us, I will unleash hell. Alexander, do something, Evelyn shrieked. But Alexander was staring at Sarah with something like awe. Mother, go home. What? Go home. Sarah's right. You're toxic. You ruined my life, and I won't let you ruin Luna's. He turned to his mother, and for the first time in his life he stood up to her. I renounce my inheritance. I want nothing from you. I'll sign over all my shares to charity. Whatever it takes to be free of you. Evelyn looked like she'd been slapped. You ungrateful. Get out, Alexander said, or I'll have security remove you. After Evelyn stormed out, a heavy silence fell over the office. Alexander looked at Sarah, his face raw with emotion. I meant what I said. I'm done with her. Done with all of it. Sarah, I know I can't undo the past. But please let me try to be a father. I'll do whatever you want. I'll go to therapy. I'll take parenting classes. I'll work to earn your trust and Luna's. Just give me a chance. Sarah sat down heavily. She was exhausted. 5 years of anger and hurt and triumph, and now this. I need to think. This isn't just about me. It's about Luna. And if you hurt her, if you disappoint her, I will never forgive you. I understand. And we do this on my terms. Supervised visits. Therapy together first. You have to earn the right to be her father. Whatever it takes. Sarah studied his face, looking for the boy she'd loved beneath the man he'd become. Maybe he was still in there somewhere. Maybe people could change. One chance, Alexander. You get one chance. Don't waste it. 6 months later, Sarah stood in a European ballroom as Moonstone Atelier celebrated its international expansion. She wore a silver gown that made her look like a goddess. Luna stood beside her in a tiny matching dress, holding her mother's hand as cameras flashed. A reporter approached. Ms. Moonstone, you're one of the youngest self-made millionaires in the country. What's your secret to success? Sarah looked down at Luna, whose gray eyes sparkled with pride. Never letting anyone tell you what you're worth. Across the room, Alexander watched them. He'd been coming to therapy sessions with Sarah for months. Last week, Luna had called him Mr. Alex, for the first time instead of just that man. It wasn't daddy yet, but it was progress. He'd learned that being a father wasn't about biology or money. It was about showing up, being patient, earning trust one day at a time. Sarah met his eyes across the crowd. She didn't smile, but she nodded slightly. Permission to approach. Alexander walked over slowly. Luna, you look like a princess. I'm not a princess, Luna informed him seriously. I'm an artist. Like Mama. That's even better than a princess, Alexander said. Luna considered this. Okay, you can stay. It wasn't forgiveness. It wasn't a happy ending. But it was a beginning. And as Sarah watched her daughter chat with the father who was finally learning to deserve her, she allowed herself to feel something she hadn't in 5 years. Hope. Because some empires were built on money, but the best ones were built on love. Sarah had given herself permission to build a dynasty. And nothing, not the Sterlings, not poverty, not the past, could take that away. If this story moved you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more stories about ordinary people doing extraordinary things. Drop a comment and tell me, do you think Alexander deserves a second chance? I read every single one. Thank you for watching, and remember, you're worth more than anyone's opinion. Until next time.